Hello students, good morning to everyone. In this session we'll discuss about IoT network layer protocols. So last session we had discussed about data link protocols. What are the protocols are in the data link layers? So in this session we'll discuss about network layer protocols. So IoT protocols are two. In IoT protocols one, we had discussed about the data link layer protocols. In IoT protocols two, we'll discuss about network layer protocols. So generally we know that in IoT protocols we have IoT data link layer protocols, IoT network layer protocol, then IoT transport layer protocol, then IoT session layer protocols, and IoT service layer protocols. So in this session we'll discuss about IoT network layer protocols. First, what do you mean by network layer? So what happens in the network layer? So generally two functions happens in the network layer. One is logical addressing, another one is a router. So now we'll see what happens in the network layer. So generally it provides two important functions. That already we said that logical addressing and routing. For example, every network devices has a physical address called MAC address, which is assigned to the device at the factory itself. So we can't change that MAC address. For example, if I want to buy any one network interface card to install into my PC or my laptop, so the MAC address of the card is fixed by the factory. So we can't change the MAC address of the network interface card. Uh, but for example, if you want to use other addressing scheme to refer the computers and other devices on the network, so where we can use the logical addressing concept. So a logical address, it allows to access a network device using an address that you assign. For example, in the Cisco network packet tracers, Cisco packet tracers tutorials, we'll see how we assign the IP address. Then there will be a transmission between the PCs. So that is called logical addressing. So logical addresses are created and are used by the network layer protocols such as IP, that is Internet protocols. The network layer protocol translates the logical addresses into MAC addresses. For example, if you use IP as a network layer protocol, devices on the network are assigned IP address. For example, 207.120.67.30. So it is one IP address. So because the IP protocol must use a data link layer protocol to actually send the data packets to devices, then the IP must know how to translate the IP address of the devices to the device MAC address. So the network layer does two functions. One is logical addressing, another one is routing. So now we'll see what happens in the IoT network layer protocol. In IoT network layers, we have some standard protocols or some non-standard protocols used for routing in IoT applications. So in this IoT network layer, we are divided into two sublayers within that network layers. So routing layer which handles the transfer of packets from one end to other end, that is from source to destination, and an encapsulation layer that forms the packets. So generally we have the IoT network layer protocols or Internet Protocol version 4, then IPv6 Internet Protocol version 6, then we have 6 low PAN, then 6 TISCH, then CARP, then RPL, then CORPL, then ICMP, then DHCP. So slowly one by one we'll discuss network layer protocols, what happens in these networks layer. So first we want to see what is IP, Internet Protocol. So Internet Protocol addresses, we will know about IP address. It is also known as IP address. So it is a numerical label which is assigned to each device connected to a computer network which uses the IP for communication. So if you want to connect within a LAN network, then also we need some IP address to connect. IP address acts as an identifier for a specific machine on a particular network. The IP address is also called as IP number and internet address. Generally, it specifies the technical format of the addressing and packet scheme. So most network combines IP with a TCP, that is transmission control protocol. So it allows for developing a virtual connection between a source and a destination. So IPv4. So it is the first version of Internet Protocol, that is Internet Protocol version 4. So it was deployed for the production in the ARPANET. Totally, till now, IP version 4 was the first version of IP. So today it is most widely used IP version. So generally it is used to identify the devices on a network by using an addressing system. So it uses a 32-bit address scheme which allows to store 2 power 32 addresses. Until date, it is considered the primary internet protocol which carries 94% of internet traffic. So what are the features of internet protocol version 4? So it is a connectionless protocol. It allows creating a simple virtual communication layer over diversified devices. It requires less memory and ease of remembering addresses. Already supported protocol by millions of devices, and it offers video libraries and conferences. The next protocol we see IP version 6, Internet Protocol version 6. So it is the most recent version of the IP. So it was initiated by the Internet Engineering Task Force, that is IETF, in 1994. It is being deployed to fulfill the need for more internet addresses. So it was aimed to resolve the issues which was associated with the IPv4. So it can be also called as Internet Protocol Next Generation, that is IPv6. It features hierarchical addressing and routing infrastructure. It supports the quality of service, then a stateful and stateless configuration. So want to configure one network, it may be either stateful or stateless. Then it is an ideal protocol for neighboring node interactions. So when you compare the Internet Protocol version 4 and Internet Protocol version 6, so IPv4 is a 32-bit IP address, whereas IPv6 is a 128-bit IP address. In addressing part, it will be numeric addressing method, whereas in IPv6, it is an alphanumeric addressing method. So IPv4 binary bits are separated by a dot, whereas in IPv6 they are separated by a colon. In terms of header fields, IPv4 offers 12 header fields, whereas IPv6 offers only 8 header fields. Then IPv4 supports broadcast, whereas IPv6 doesn't support broadcast. So same way, if we see the header files or the packet size, then within that we can see that is IPv4 has some checksum fields, while IPv6 doesn't have that checksum field. So the checksum field will come under the header, IPv4 header and IPv6 header. IPv4 supports virtual in subnet mask, and IPv6 doesn't support. And one more thing, that IPv4 uses ARP protocol, that is address resolution protocol, to map the MAC addresses. We know that IPv6 uses NDP, that is Neighbor Discovering Protocol. So these are about the Internet Protocol version 4 and Internet Protocol version 6. So next we'll go for 6LoWPAN. It is an Internet Protocol based technology, that is low power wireless personal area network. So 6 indicates that is IP version 6, that is Internet Protocol version 6. with low power wireless personal area network. So generally, the IoT application protocols technology like Bluetooth or Zigbee. Uh, so within that also, the 6LoWPAN is a network protocol. The standard has the freedom of the frequency band and physical layer in this 6LoWPAN. It can be used across multiple communication platforms. So it uses a light-weighted IP-based communication to travel over low data rate networks. It has limited processability to transfer the information wirelessly using an IP. So generally, it is for mainly used for home or building automations. It operates within the frequency range 2.4 GHz with a 250 kbps transfer rate. So it has a maximum length of 128-bit header packets. So if you see the properties of a 6LoWPAN, the standard it has a RFC 6282. Then frequency we know that we discussed 2.4 GHz range. Then TI SCH protocol. So it is a time slotted channel hopping mode. Again, 6 comes for IPv6. So I comes for that is the done from the Internet Engineering Task Force. So IPv6 over TSCH. So TSCH means time slotted channel hopping. So in this we have a time slot. Based on the time slot, it will networking will be done. That is a logical addressing or routing will be done based on the time slot. So it addresses to pass through a time slotted channel hopping mode of IEEE standard 802.15.4d MAC layer, so that it can be used for industrial automation and low power lossy networks. So it defines a channel distribution usage matrix consisting of available frequencies in columns and time slots which are available for network scheduling operations in terms of rows. So in this protocol, where you want to see the what are the available frequencies are there in order to scheduling the operations. So that is based on entirely it is based on time slot. So next protocol we'll see CARP, that is channel aware routing protocol. So it is a distributor routing protocol. So mainly it is designed for underwater communications. So it has lightweight packets. So it can be used for IoT. It performs two different functions. First one is network initialization and data forwarding. So first CARP protocol will initialize the network. For example, it want to a sender A want to route the information or the packet to the sender B. First, it will initialize the network between the two systems or the two nodes. Then only after establishing the or initializing the network only, then it will forward the data. So it does not support any previously collected data. The upgradation of CARP protocol is done in eCARP, which overcomes some limitations. It allows the sync node, that is to save previously received sensory data within the devices. So next protocol is RPL, that is the routing protocol. It is for generally low power and lossy network. It is a routing protocol. So it is based on the distance vector protocol that supports a variety of data link protocols. So based on the if you have a nodes, so based on the distance calculating minimum distance, it will reach the destination. So it builds a destination oriented directed acyclic graph, that is DODAG, which has only one route from each leaf node to the root. When a new node wants to join the network, it sends a request and root again the root responds back with acknowledgement confirming that it can join in the network. So based on the distance, so minimum distance from the sender to receiver to pass the information or to reach from sender to receiver with the minimum distance. Then CORPL. So it is a extension of RPL protocol which is termed as cognitive RPL protocol. So it is designed for cognitive networks, and it has two new modifications in associated with RPL. It uses opportunity forwarding to forward a packet between the nodes. So each node of the protocol keeps the information of a forwarding set rather than parents that only maintaining it. So each node updates its changes to its neighboring node using messages, as DAO messages. So on the basis of the updated messages, each node frequently updates its neighbor for the constant forwarded set. So it is a main modification in CORPL is it uses the forwarding to forwarded packets. So between the nodes. Then we have ICMP protocol, that is Internet Control Message Protocol. So generally we know that on a network, if you have any one network, whether it can be either a local area network or wide area network, those devices will be communicating to exchange the data and the information between each other. And sometimes an error may occur. So for example, if we are sending a packet to a server on the internet, so first what happens, while the computer will initialize the connection between this, the device and the remote server, then it provides an error stating that unable to connect. As an upcoming networking, you may wonder that why both devices are unable to establish a connection. So for that only we use internet control message protocol, which is used to provide error reporting on a network. So there are many types of INCP network, ICMP network protocols, which provides different actions and give feedbacks if an error occurs, and also the issue which exists. So it will give the feedback if an error occurs. For example, you want to communicate with the server, if the connection is not established, then it will provide an error report. So for this only we are using that ICMP protocol. Next we have a DHCP protocol, that is a dynamic host configuration protocol. So it is a network protocol used on IP networks where the server automatically assigns an IP address and other informations to each host on the network. So it can communicate efficiently with other endpoints also. So in addition to the IP addresses, DHCP also assigns the subnet mask, the default gateway addresses, then DNS domain name, server, and other pertinent configurations parameter. For example, request for command or DHCP as an IETF standard that based on BOTP protocol. It generally responds to the a client request by providing the IP configuration specified by a network administrator. So it includes a specific IP address as well as the time period. So which is also called as a lease for which the allocation is valid. So it manages a record of all the IP addresses it allocates to the network nodes. So if a node is relocated in the network, the server identifies it using its MAC address. So only we are using DHCP. Depending on the connections between these points and the number of clients in each location, so multiple DHCP servers can be set up to handle the distribution of the addresses. So these are the basic network layers of IoT protocols. So these are the protocols of IoT network layers. So mainly starting from IPv4, V6, then 6LoWPAN, then DHCP, routing protocol RPL for lossy network, then ICMP, then DHCP. So next session we'll discuss about transport layer protocols for IoT. So thank you.